And we proceed with number 4. I actually wanted to stop, and I was like, I'll wait till tomorrow. But this one's super interesting, and the one after is super interesting. And the one after that, how would Alan Watts' philosophy versus... Okay, so that, alright, so I'll probably do one today or two today more. But today's video is the individualistic ego focuses on their desire. I did this. Watch me. A holistic ego observes, analyzes them situation, finds triggers that point to their advantage. Watch how I did that thing. So it's very much a simplistic approach. This is, by the way, taken from a manga. It's called Blue Lock. It's about football. And I never thought I'd actually like it. I wouldn't consider I would enjoy a manga about football. When I was a kid, we watched Oliver and Benji. I don't know if you guys know them, but like the football anime that takes like literally 3 episodes to shoot the ball. Early 90s, man. Good times. Oof, another favorite anime of mine was about a fisherman. I loved that shit, man. I still love fishing, I guess. Maybe I can do that as like a side thing for me to chill and relax. So, anyways, individualist. In the anime, basically, there are two teams kind of fighting each other. There was electricity. No, the two main players are fighting each other, and naturally in football, the entirety of the anime is basically the ego. Like, build the ego that is a winner. This is what you want. Build the ego that's the winner. And I did a couple of episodes about it, like 300 episodes ago or 200 episodes ago, where I intensely discussed how we kind of like personally brand ourselves, whether we notice it or not, and how we explore our own kind of like existence through the image of what we show people. And that's basically the ego, right? That's perfectly fine, but like you don't want to think with your ego, you want to think with yourself and allow the ego to kind of like do its thing or just support it in order for it to become like the ego you want, designed by you. Your own personal brand should be basically your own kind of like interaction. Again, it's the harmony. So it's not going to be a conversation I'm going to have right now simply because I might be going away from this. But the idea behind this is there's an individualistic ego and a holistic ego. Now, the individualistic ego is only focusing on their desire. I want this, literally, there's in quotes here. I did this, watch me, notice me, give me the attention I deserve. That's what the ego does, any kind of ego, right? We all demand attention. So the individualistic ego focuses on the desire. I did this, watch me. Whilst the holistic ego discerns, analyzes the situation, and finds the trigger that points to their advantage. Effectively, watch how I did this thing. So holistic ego kind of like points at the way it was done, but the individualistic ego points at they did it. But like how I did this. Both of them get results, which is completely different results. Why? Because they're completely different approaches. One is my deepest desire is to get this done, and the minute I do this, I want it to be acknowledged. Well, the holistic ego is basically considering how this could be done, and when it's done, wants it to be acknowledged, not them, it to be acknowledged. And so the two teams basically were standing in front of each other, and the main character, of the manga, is basically this guy that's not really good at football, But there's something about him because he thinks on the field, while other players kind of like just follow their style. He actually processes and thinks. And so the entirety of the series is basically him building different mental structures in order to understand the field differently, in order to understand the game differently, in order to like approach the game differently. Similar to music, right? Because the first thing they teach you is music theory, and once you kind of like are good at music theory, you learn the skills with the instrument that you're working with, and then after that, you kind of like start getting into like you start vibing differently because there's a lot of basics that you've accomplished or acquired. I definitely am pushing towards the holistic ego. I did have an individualistic ego at one point. The problem with the individualistic ego is very emotional, right? It's driven probably through emotion. And this is all me, right? I have no fucking degree in any of this shit. It's just me thinking out loud. Individualistic ego is very much like coming from yourself. So it's your own emotions manifesting into this world any way you want. Fair. Holistic ego is not driven by emotions, but maybe inspired by them. Because ultimately, a holistic ego takes himself out of the question or herself. I don't know if an ego is a dude or a girl, but it takes itself out of the equation. Why? Because a holistic ego kind of like serves a purpose for the desire instead of being the actual drive of the desire or the desire being its drive. Right. So the holistic ego basically serves the desire, while the individualistic ego is driven by the desire. Ah, that makes a bit more sense. Because like if you're approaching things and you're only focusing on that getting done, you kind of feed your ego without actually being the person that kind of like gives it fuel. But if you're driven by that desire, you kind of like are burning energy until that desire is done. Well, the holistic ego is gaining energy as the desire is completed. Huh. This also deserves a note. Burning energy. Super cool, man. All right. I don't know what to talk about anymore. But anyway, so let's talk about the manga some more. So midway through, one of the other guy, the individualistic ego guy, scored a goal. And the way he handled scoring the goal and the way he tactically always placed himself in certain like parts of the field were driven fully by his desire to score. And so that the actual protagonist saw the difference. And when he saw the difference, what he did was he kind of like realized that his style has nothing to do with the other. His own style has nothing to do with the other person's style. And he started dissecting how. And it's the power of self-actualization, right? You see something in the world and you kind of think differently about things for some fucking reason. And sometimes you take something that's normal that is around you all the fucking time and you think about it differently and then the world changes. So inspiration versus kind of like application. I don't know. So the holistic ego is basically, I don't know if it's in evolved form. I really think like it all boils down to like the values and principles behind your desire, like what kind of person you are, what are you trying to express in this world, and what are you okay with, right? Because like I don't think I'm okay with individualistically expressing myself, and the word holistic here is a bit like too sagey or something like this. But the idea behind it is the fact that like I want to express myself, but through the things that are coming out of me that are coming into this world because of me, instead of the things that are coming out of me into this world. Fuck man, I'm on fire today, right? I think talking about the ego actually allows you to to separate yourself from it. It's kind of an uncomfortable vibe. Which makes it a bit fun, a bit more fun than I expected it to be. So holistic ego is a person that's basically wants to express through the things that are coming out of this world because of him. Or, yeah, that are coming out of this world because of him. While the individualistic ego is actually like, is trying to express himself through the things that come out of this, that come into this world because of him. Whoever made it this far, please. I don't know if I fucking made sense. I know there's one person I can count on if they watch this video. So, or three, but summer times, man, everyone's vacationing. Not a lot of people are at home. I love you guys, and this is a video. Please let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna circle this note because I'm definitely gonna want to come back to it another time and watch this video again. Peace out.